Right, during the week I'm saving my kitchen scraps. So this is eggshells, I went banana skins, potato peelings, everything. Nothing cooked. If it's cooked, I eat it. We're all natural products, so they're going to break down. Eggshells is part of my lime content. If you don't use eggshells, you might have to put lime in to sweeten the compost. But the worms will tell you if there's something missing or there's something in the bin that they don't like. So at the end of the week, that's what I got, kitchen scraps. I've also got green waste. These are out the garden at home and out your allotment or whatever. You'll see I've just finished taking up my chili peppers, finished with them, and house plants or whatever. So I've got my kitchen waste, garden waste. The smaller you can get the ingredients and the more you can mix, the quicker the breakdown. The hardest I work on the plot is chopping everything up. That's these lot go in the bucket, get chopped. Also the kitchen waste. Once they're all chopped up, I'll then get an empty compost bag and I throw everything in there. I'll then upend the bag 5 or 6 times, meaning I'm mixing the ingredients. Add-ons which I put in. I've also got another bag at home where I've got my ripped up egg boxes and lure rolls, i.e. them. If you're watching the box TV, I know blokes go do 2 things at once, but I can. Just rip these up. Smaller the better. Plus save your tea bags, but these are made of 20% plastic tea bags. They're never going to break up. So just empty the tea into your ingredients. That lot will also go into my bag to get mixed up. Also, spent coffee grounds. I get mine from Tesco. Anybody, there's Costa, that's what they give. Anybody that does coffee, they do coffee grounds. Exactly the same as a tea bag, that's what it comes in. So obviously you got to open them up, bin them. You will get a load of rubbish in, but just take it out obviously. And this is the one I get from Tesco. But I'll just dry it and then I'll break the lumps up by hand. It is now in powder form. Tea leaves and spent coffee grounds, good activator for the compost. Also, slugs and snails hate this. So if you've got any oxygen, well, anything. You'll see later on all my leeks are surrounded by that stuff. Slugs have got nowhere near it. Plus all my raised beds, because I'm all raised beds. Each bed is top dressed twice a year with spent coffee grounds. These are extras that are going in. This is worm beetle frass. My mate has got a beetle farm. They need the beetles for the pet industry. If they got a beetle farm, he'd put his brain into gear. You know, they walk around. And I was binning this. This is obviously it's the dung manure. Any manure is good. And I was throwing it away. He says, "Can I trial it?" He says, "You can have what you want." But that is superb stuff. The goodness in it. He analysed it himself and he sent it away for a. The goodness in it is super. Well, it's that good. He bloody flogs it. So that's an additive. Another one I found. I had this from a chap in Australia. Another compost geek. Worms love porridge. This is a chapper from Tesco. I can get 8 weeks out of that. That's only about 50p if that. But just put a cup full of that in as well. They love it. Carbon, which is me egg boxes and lure rolls. Plus, I've got to have more carbon. Black and white, nothing coloured, nothing glossy. Magazines kick them out. And the best thing I've found is paperback books. And because I make wine out of everything, our local charity shop down our Zoe, and I bribed the wenches in there with a couple of bottles of wine, and they saved me their old books. That's what I'm looking for, an old book. And if you smell it, that's the paper breaking down already, meaning that's going to break down 3 times as quick as normal office paper or newspaper even. And what I look for on the back is old money. Then you know it's an old book. Get a shredder. Don't get anything now off eBay or whatever. Amazon. But that stuff is beautiful and worms love it. Me and my mate Dave, he lives up Chesterfield, and there's 2 ex-coppers, those fishermen, both retired within 6 months of each other, and they still wanted a job to do. And one bought an old farmhouse, meaning he's got all the old outbuildings, and his mate said to him, let's have a worm farm, because the worms I was using, that was being imported from Holland. Couldn't bloody believe it. So that's what they did. And me and Dave said, I went up one day, one year, we're going to have a nose, have a look at the setup, just have a look around the wormery. And basically it was a worm cast we was after. But the bedding they use, all they use is layers chicken pellets, multi-purpose compost and shredded paper. Worms love it. So get it in there. This is a seasonal one, grass cuttings, but sprinkle it in, don't put it in one big dollop. Also comfrey if that's in season. This is something to flog down our trading sheds, Perlka. This is a high nitrogen feed. It's what the farmers use down south. It comes from Germany, but anything that's high nitrogen needs your activator for your compost. So that goes in as well. Right, we've just mixed everything up, and that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like before we add our extra ingredients. Now we go over to this one. So them lot are in the empty compost bag. I'll then open these lot up. All these are natural products, meaning they're going to break down. Obviously, bloody natural. This is another good worm cast. I've got a good supply with this now. I get this by the ton. Obviously, most things are flogged from the trading sheds. If I buy bulk, it's cheaper, and that's what I do, and I get that by the ton. This is a product they have to get rid of, and they've started bagging it up, but I get it by the ton. Beautiful stuff. That's dried out, but don't forget, when you do get it, if you get it fresh, it's got eggs in it and everything. Another one, seaweed, which is hard to get round by the Midlands, but I've got a mate in Wales, and he comes up and he gives me a good dollop. When I used to get it myself, I used to bring it back, if it ain't raining, put it out, and within a couple of hours it's dry, then turn it over. But I've got to get it small, so I used to chop it up in my bucket, in my edge shears. Still too big, so I used to put it through the shredder twice, and that's how it comes out when it's dried. Beautiful stuff. If you ain't got none of that, cheat and go to Holland and Barrett and get a sea kelp tablet. Just go on there and smash a couple of them up, so you powder form, and smack them. You don't get the bigger what's tablets. So you've still got your what's that road. Right, my next one, I've got a contact for wood shavings. That's what these are. Obviously the wood ain't been treated. I've asked him that, so it's normal timber. This one here, when I go up to Heaven, which is where I get my osmuck from, I like to go up like, now would be ideal because it was piddling down last night, meaning worms need moisture, they breathe through the skin. If they start drying out, they're going to leg it down. If it rains, they can sense a vibration, they come up top. So I'll just scrape 2 inches, and that's what I get. Worms active. I need this one now because of my extra worms. My compost used to take over a month. Now I'm trialing it and it's ready after 3 weeks. Obviously now winter's coming, it's going to take longer. During the summer months, which we'll see when we go down to the bins, I can get my own worms. I've got my own little wormery inside the compost bin, but now it's getting colder, I ain't got them extra worms. So this bag is not just manure, but me extra worms, because I know that's packed with worms. Next one, this is where rabbit muck. Somebody rung us up. He says, you want rabbit muck for your allotment? I thought he was going to give me a carrier bag full of wick. I thought that ain't going to bloody last. But he's got about 40 rabbits and he exhibits them all over the UK, meaning he has loads of this. And I give him a key and he just drops it off. 3 big loads a week. In fact, he was here yesterday. Good stuff. Plus he uses sterilised chopped straw to start off with, which is even better for me. This is peat, spent peat from my grow bags from last year. Another good one, use it. This one is another manure. I think that was oss, I think. This one is goat muck. I found a goat herder right in the middle of our zone. Bloody love her muck. Well, not her muck, the bloody goats. Got another mate who's got a wood burner. That's the ash out the bottom. Excellent stuff. Top of Romsley. I've got a woman who's got alpacas and llamas. Look at that, Boston. Love it. Good thing about this, it ain't so strong, meaning you can put that on anything straight away. It ain't gonna burn nothing, no roots or nothing. But that's beautiful stuff. Another one I use, I get this by the ton for our training sheds as well. This is the rock dust from Reaming up Scotland. Beautiful stuff. Because it's volcanic from the centre of the earth, you've got trace elements and minerals which you ain't got up top. Excellent as a compost activator, wool ingredient. Also my raised beds, they're top dressed once a year with that. Beautiful stuff. Another one, this is topsoil. One little pinch of topsoil, there's millions of good bacteria and fungi in it. People forget to put topsoil in the compost. The best topsoil I can get is molehills. If I'm doing a talk somewhere and it's out in the sticks, you've got to go early. Traffic and all this crap. I'll get there and I've always got a bag and a trowel in the boot. And if I see a field with molehills, I'll go and borrow them and bring them back. If you've got a molehill there, for the mole to be there, it's good soil. Because there's bloody worms in it, and that's what he's after. And they've riddled it for you. Just get it up. Beautiful. Another one, this is spent mushroom compost. I've got a contact for that and all down, well he has to get it from Western now. But because I buy bulk on that as well, I can flog that £3 a bag. Beautiful stuff. Obviously I'm making a profit, but that's still bloody cheap, £3. This one is my leaf mould. That's the leaf mould from last year. Beautiful. You can either use that as a mulch, top dressing, but I use it as one of my ingredients as an extra for my compost. I need as much compost as I can make as quickly as I make it, because I'm using this, my end product, as a growing medium 100%. If I can do it, councils and the governments can do it, but they don't want to know. Still fighting the buggers. Spent tops, breweries have to get rid of their spent tops. We got one Bathams, and he drops off every Saturday morning. I've given him a key and all. Beautiful stuff. As a top dressing or anything. This one was a new additive, wood chip. I've got about 3 contacts for wood chip. Like one comes from Kiddie and there's one from Wolverhampton. But if I'm working in our zone, instead of taking the wood chip back home and getting rid of it that road, I've got a key to ours and they just drop off. And we had a good dollop delivered. I mean, any big lumps, then I'll just clear them off. But we had a good dollop delivered. It piddled down overnight. Next morning it was steaming, cooking. I thought, bloody hell, that's quick. But it's natural products, it's common sense, it's GNU. So I thought, well, that's going to be a good ingredient for me compost, and that's what that one is. But that, because that's got soil in, that was a runoff when we had a good downpour, because my pathways are wood chipped, and the rain had took all that at the end, and that's what I collected up. Otherwise it would have been just wood chip. But just keeping that wood chip moist in the bag, and it breaks down. So just go back to this one quickly. That was my kitchen and garden waste in my bag. So I now want my bag up and I go round to these lot and I get a double handful out of everything and put that into that bag. I then upend it, turn it. You're mixing everything, less work for the worms again. That's all you're thinking about. And that's the end product after I've done that. That was your kitchen and garden waste. This is your end product after that lot has been mixed together. Beautiful. You got your carbon, as we can see, you got your muck, which is your activator. Whatever muck you use, that's where you're going to get your worms from. They will come if they're in there already. Right, we've just chopped everything up and mixed them. We've now come down to the bins. As you can see, because we've had a couple of frosts on the lighters, but I'm still looking after the worms because I still want compost 12 months of the year. So if I get cold, I put a coat on. Do exactly the same with your bins, put carpet around them. There was a skip a couple of months ago near to us, and there's a nice, well, it looked brand new, but it's brand new for these, a good dollop of carpet, and I went and asked him if I could have some carpet, and that's what these are, these new ones, and I cut them to measure. Ideal to keep the warmth in. So this one is in use, as it tells me there, in use. Take my lid off. You have a quick perv in there. You'll see I've got my couple of carpets on the top. I'll take my fuston off. Now if it was summer, once I take that off, that there would be full of worms. That would be my extra worms, which I put in, well, shake into me bins at the end. But because it's getting a bit colder, there's a couple there, but we shake them in after. So that brewing there is just after a week. You can see where I've thrown my apple cores in and all, when I get apple off the fruit tree. So that's after a week. That's why I'm using it, trialing it after 3 weeks. So my brew gets thrown in. I'll then level him out. And give him a water. I'll then give it a water. What I use is obviously tap water, but I put a liquid osmoc in as well, which I get from Heaven, or you can piddle in it, which is even better, or as good. Just weights everything. Give it a good soaking. You can't overweight it because it's like a raised bed. You've got the drainage. Don't forget, worms need moisture. Look after them. So that one goes in. I put my extra worms in from that muck, which is full of worms anyway, so they're in there. So the top carpet, the worms that were in there, that's shook into that. They can get to work. I spread that out, and all I gotta do is keep that moist, and this one, and the layer in between the two carpets is an ideal breeding ground for the worms because it's moist and you got that bit of warmth. It's only because we've had a couple of frosts that they've cleared off. If it does warm up again, well, that'll help them now anyway. They will start breeding in there again to give me the extra ones. Lid back on, and me brick. Once I've filled a bin, that'll probably take about 7-8 weeks. I'll put the date on so I know from then, well, I know from when it was ready. But this one will be used as a raised bed in my wooden structure, which we'll go and see in a minute. I've been filling that up yesterday, started filling that up, and this lot in here will be used to top dress that, because I know it's a good brew. You have noticed I've got me babbies. I've got carpets on the top of all my bins. When I used to have my old bins outside, which was the wooden pallets, 4 foot square wooden pallets, I used to have carpet on the top of that, and as the manure or whatever broke down, the carpet lid used to drop down with it. When I started using these bins when they first come out, I never had any activity on the surface, because you've got that cold void from the lid to that surface. So then I thought about my muck heaps at the back. So since I started putting carpet on, I've got activity. Carpet off again. Check the worms. Good brew. But as a top dressing, this is beautiful stuff. Still got the worms in there. You can see the little bits of white bacteria and fungi working away, because there's been no disturbance. That's what I want. When I started off with these, of course, with the mole run at the back, these carpets were stowed at the back. Moles try and get in my bins. Well, I did originally, and they nicked all my worms, so I put chicken wire on the bottom now, stop the mole getting in. And then all he was doing was lying on his back with his mouth open, and the worms was dropping through the chicken wire. I thought, you got me, you bugger. So now what I do, if I start from scratch again, say I've emptied this bin, I'll then put 2 foot of straw in. As I put my ingredients in, that compresses. By the time that straw's broken down, my compost is ready and out. He don't get no worms. Got him. So that lot will go on one of my raised beds, meaning I've got a good brew. My next bin along, this is Leafmold. 6 bins, 4 for compost, 2 for Leafmold. Get my carpets off again. Good brew. Big lumps, I'll clear them off. But beautiful stuff. This is more bacteria and fungi that breaks these down. You still get worms in. I could do with another drop of water, but it's beautiful stuff. Look at that. That's why I use it as a compost ingredient. Anytime soon, in fact, either this bin or my other one, once they're emptied, then I'll start collecting the leaves in again. The smaller the leaf, the better. Beech leaves are perfect. I get mine from a graveyard, meaning they're clean, they ain't had no fumes, diesel spillages from the roads or whatever. But the smaller the leaf, the better. If you ain't got a shredder, just put them over the lawn, go over with a mower, something like that, or even chopping up in a bucket. But nothing evergreen, because it'll stay for evergreen. Just have a quick perv of the other 3 bins over here. Right, we move over to the next 3 bins. We'll have a perv in these and all. Another one breaking down well. Look at that, beautiful stuff. That's a bit moist, that. It's still good though, but if I'm using that as a growing medium, which I was, this is my 3 week trial, because they've still got lumps in it. I did a trial with Leamington M3. Well, I started off with 2 seedlings all through the growing season using Leamington F1, M3, so the best stuff against my compost. And when I was in the 3 litre pots with the Leamington M3, if I water or feed into the pot, it runs straight through. It's only the roots that hang on to anything. If I was using this as a growing medium, if I water that, these lumps, although they're still breaking down, the lumps are hanging on to moisture, oxygen and warmth, which is what your roots and the plant wants. And I've got better roots than what I had at Leamington. Another reason government should take notice, but they won't, because I've given them the answer. They'll be out of a job then, and being paid 5 years to look for alternatives for peat. This one's ready and all, which is ideal for me raised beds. Look at that, beautiful. I could eat it. That'll go on that top bed as well, which we'll go and see later on in a bit. my other leaf mould. Good brewing here as well. Still got your worms in. Beautiful. This is the only apple tree I got left that's still got fruit on. It's been a bloody funny year this year, fruit wise. Last year, all my fruit, superb. Best year I've ever had. This year, bloody funnier. But this year's still got fruit on, scrumptious, and they're beautiful. These little chaps, you can see where I got my little babbies. You can see the doorways they got on the front. So them hibernating. I used to do these, the bugs hotels, the kids up the school. When I see these in the pound shop, so I thought I'll have me one of them. Look after the chaps, them supposedly look after you. Right, moving down the plot, we've just been to the bins, compost bins. This is my wooden structure which I got up. I've took the roof off 2 weeks ago. Scaffolding netting this is. Keeps the pigeons out and the butterflies. And it works, which is ideal. So this netting obviously is on permanent, this side and the two ends. 3 raised beds in here. Before we go in, I'll just show you the netting. There's that raised bed on that end. I can get to the edge of that raised bed from there. I can get to the middle on that raised bed from either side. The only drawback here originally, I can't get to that side. I've got to stretch. So what I did, put my brain into gear, and I got some Velcro off eBay. Now all I got to do, if I want to get in there, one side of the Velcro is stapled permanently onto there. The other side, because it's sticky, and the holes are that big on the scaffolding netting, it sticks to it, obviously. So when I got to tie up again, or secure it, I just do that. But if I've got to get in there to weed, which there ain't many weeds anyway, because it's raised beds, I don't disturb the soil. So I'm not bringing dormant weed seeds to the surface. So if I go want to get a leek out, I just open him up and throw that on the top, then I can get in there. Slugs have had a bit of a battering on these, but you see now I've sprinkled spent coffee grounds around the outside, so that'll keep them away. But we made leeks up the top, I'm clear as a bloody whistle, and you don't even touch them. That's gardening, ain't it? But this works, Velcro. Right, walking up here, what I did last year, Malvern Lake Show, just gone. Put a bit of stuff in, and I'm going to put more stuff in this year. Cabbages I grew in here, Swedes, beetroot, we'll see in the other bed. But we may put some rhubarb in, which is a new class I bought in a couple of years ago, 3/6 rhubarb by weight. And my mate next door at the end of the season was like a Aussie's Tadger, thick as a fart. Can I say that? And I thought, bloody Nora. So I asked him if I could have a dollop, which he said yeah. Now's the time, and well, anything you want to move, now's the time to do it, because I'm dormant. So I took a chunk off and I put him in here. Protected it with manure, looking after him. Look at my little babbies in there, look, worms, that's what I want to see. And there's the top of the rhubarb, just poking through. All I'm doing is looking after him. Because he's had a stress of moving anyway. This stuff about you gotta get the frost to him and all that. Yeah. When I had my rhubarb originally, I was the first and last one to be getting rhubarb, in the sense when everything dies off, take all the old leaves off, chop them up. I know they're poisonous, we're not eating them, the worms and bacteria. Top dress it with muck. I'm then getting the first corms spurts next year. If a frost is forecast, I put more muck on, protect it. Exactly the same as with my spuds when you earth them up to protect them. And the first rhubarb I do get off, that's the best rhubarb if you make wine. It is beautiful. It's nearly as strong as parsnip. And just look after it. Feed it and water it through the grain season. People forget to feed rhubarb. So if I look after mine, because he never looked after these, and for him to get chunks like that, I'm going to beat him. I got my mate to beat for him up Stokeway. So that's me next year. My raised beds were not finished. I had a small gladdies in that bed there, gladioli. This was sprouts, whatever. But once I've emptied the bed, I then top dress with, we got down the bottom, chicken muck as you can see underneath, and then the spent tops on top of that. Slug it out and clear off. But nature, obviously it's had a good soaking, and nature now is going to get to work.